So looking at this image there, you got your fifth string, fourth, third, second and first string. So what we're going to do is take these strings and we're going to put them in a nice straight order, and then once we've done that we'll get rid of the banjo because we don't need that anymore, and then we're going to stretch it across the full width of a page. So this still represents our strings, so you've got your fifth string there, fourth, third, second and first in this order. And just to make sure we've got it there, so we've got our high G, D, good day, good banjo day. And then the length going across this way, this doesn't represent the length of our banjo, this actually represents time. So going from left to right, this is how we read the banjo tabs, we read it from left to right. So this here is a period of time, but how much time, what we'll do, we'll understand how much time by encasing the banjo strings in these rectangles here. And these rectangles are called measures. So you'll see every banjo tab that you look at will contain these rectangles, and it helps to divide the tab up into specific periods of time. So each one of these measures represents a period of time, but obviously how much time, we'll explain that now. So imagine if we take one of the measures and we chop it in half, divide it into two halves, and then what we'll do then is take them two halves and chop them up into quarters. So now we've got 4 quarters or 4 fourths, and if you watch my previous video you'll know I've mentioned 4/4 before, so if the penny's not dropped it probably will in a minute. So we've currently divided this measure now into 4 quarters or 4 fourths, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide them up again into eighths. So if you look now, you've got 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So we've divided this measure up into 8 eighths. And that's basically the period of time that these measures represent. In the common time, which I've mentioned before, the standard 4/4 timing, each measure represents 8 eighth notes. So what we actually do to make sure we can fit all this within the measure, we'll just push everything up to the left a little bit. There we go. So now that is how the notes, in a minute we'll see the notes, will fit within the measure. So each one of these measures here represents 8 eighth notes, which will sound like this: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So let's put that into practice, let's start making some noise. So what we'll do is we'll play our very first piece of banjo tab. So this is about as easy as it's ever going to get with our tabs. So this particular measure here now will sound like this. So we'll start at the 1. It'll sound like this. It'll go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Not very exciting, but that's how it sounds. The 0, we use numbers when we represent the strings being hit. So a 0 means my left hand is not touching any strings, so I'm not fretting anything. So when it's a 0, it means you're playing it open. So I'll do that one again. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So yeah, not very exciting. So let's add a few more notes. There we go. It's a bit more interesting. So if you want to pause the video and have a go at this yourself, you can do. So I'll play this now. And it's pretty straightforward. All we're doing, we're going to strike the first string open, so we're not touching anything with our left hand, back of the middle fingernail, and just hammer down 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and.